Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's hump day. We are back with the TED Show, and we have the one and only Luz Estrella Colon. What's up, Luz? How are you?
Hi, everyone.
It's so good to see you. I appreciate you coming on the show. I love this topic. I love be light and be awesome. You can't help but feel good and smile like you're doing and I'm doing right now when you say that. But before we dive into that and talk about real estate, let's talk about you. So give us a little origin story on Luz.
Yeah, so I actually am born and raised in Tampa, which apparently a lot of clients tell me is a rarity. I guess they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm born and raised here. I went to Lopez Elementary, which is funny because I lived down the street. But I lived in Tampa, and for some reason, our school district was assigned. Went to Mendenhall Lopez, went to Booker T. Washington. In like Ybor downtown area for middle school, Progress Village, and then I went to Blake for choral. So I was in the choir program there. But yeah, Tampa's my home. I have
Love
lived
it. I
all
love it
over.
over there.
Yes, I've lived all over St. Pete, Largo, like Indian Rocks Beach. I live in Brandon now. I've lived in, man, all over Tampa Bay. I love it. This is really the place to be. Everybody's coming here. So I live where people
And
vacation.
did you know what you wanted to do when you graduated? Did you immediately go into real estate or was there a detour?
I did not. I was a teacher before I was in real estate. And before that, I was in banking about 15 years. So I worked for USAA, Bank of America. I was in leadership, did trainings. And then, of course, being a mom of four, I'm married. I'm a mom of four with a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old daughter. The boy's 12, daughter's 8, and the twins are going to be 5. So, boys.
Wow, you have your hands full.
Yeah.
Are they back at school or are they homeschooling?
So the 8-year-old, that my daughter and the 12-year-old, my son, are homeschooling in FLVS Flex. I used to homeschool actually before I did real estate. I taught and I tutored, and we did homeschooling. And
Awesome.
I said, I'm going to be a realtor. You guys can go back to school while I adjust. Then COVID happens, brings them back home. And so they doing that. But the boy started VBK, I found a small school and they're able to do VPK there. So they're
Fantastic.
not.
4 kids, though. You're about to enter teenage years.
I'm already there. He's small and he's in 7th grade. So
Oh,
needless
yeah.
to say, he's
Middle
like,
school, it's a whole new world, isn't it? It's
it is.
crazy.
I taught it, so I'm a
Oh,
little
that's right.
scared.
You know firsthand. This is nothing really new to you, but it's certainly different when it's your own child. That's for
It
sure.
is for sure.
All right, so talk to me about the topic. So you chose, which I always love to have you all create like a topic that kind of directs where we go. But this one is so positive, and I think in the day and age that we're living right now, so incredibly important to try to focus on. So, what does it mean to you when we're talking about be light and be awesome?
So, it's funny because I will sometimes do videos and in regards to that, especially so 2020 happens, right? And we get hit with an influx of events, deaths, the virus, economy, election, uh, just riots. I mean, this has been for sure a year,
Yep.
and everyone has in their own way gone through it in their own way, and what could be easy for you could be really hard for me, and vice versa, and it can hit us differently. And I think that when we're in a nation where we're getting hit with all kinds of things and things going on in the world, I think it's really hard to really focus on just being the light and to try to stay positive, to try to be there for one another, even if we're divided at ends where we disagree on certain things. So it's something that I've been constantly saying. So I wanted to just remind people that what we're really here for, and to look at the big picture and really
So
realize.
I agree 100%. I think 2020 has been such a challenge. And, we'll talk about the business side in a little bit, but it's just been a challenge overall, no matter what aspect of life you're in. It has been a challenge and it's unprecedented. None of us have gone through anything like this before. So, what do you do since you have that? You can tell already you've got the light energy. You obviously put out good energy and good juju, but just like all people who do, you get drained. So what do you do to stay focused and creative and stay in front of the light?
So I've always said you can't pour from an empty cup. So I'm not saying that I haven't been there, because I have. As a mom of four, as a wife, I serve in not just, I don't just work in real estate. I serve, I tutor, I I'm always busy, and it's hard to pour from an empty cup. So I really have had to work on time blocking this year, and really working on my scheduling. I schedule from my phone. I mean, I get a massage or a facial once a month. I try to travel a little bit. I try to have girl time with my friends, because I cannot pour from an empty cup. And it's something that I've had to learn the hard way. I've gotten hit with depression and anxiety. And although I am light, and although I am very positive all the time, I have to, motivate myself every day. It's something that is not easy, but it's just, I wake up, I got to do it. I can't just say I'm going to just pout all day. And
I love that you share. I love that you share that you've also had. I think people watch shows like this and they go, "Well, she's just always a positive person. Nothing ever gets her down." And they say the same thing to me, and I say, "You just don't see those moments. It's not that I'm hiding them. It's just I literally just I know when they're coming. I think we've all experienced COVID exhaustion. I mean, we're just tired of the whole thing, and I think it just depletes even quicker. So." I've had my moments. I've had my meltdown moments. I've had my crying moments. I've had my ticked off moments where in normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have had any of those in that way. But with everything going on, like you said, and hitting us constantly since it all started in 2020, you get tired. And coming from an empty cup is probably the worst thing anybody can do. But it's what we do. We push through, and then we think, well, we're strong enough, we should do it. And I want to say that you're 100% right. We need to do more self-care. And when you think about that, it does, for me, it would be a massage or a facial or I don't know what, having a cocktail or 10.
I'm there with you there.
But for some people, it could be something else, but you have to find an outlet. And I think people have been struggling, especially when you were quarantined. You couldn't get out. So everything was happening in the house. So I think you're right. People are just exhausted and they need to find that way or whatever that outlet is. So what about business? Tell me about your business overall and how you have been impacted by the pandemic.
So honestly, I'm in real estate, and as a realtor, we got so busy. So it was hard managing the kids being here 24/7, managing showings and contracts. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie. I had, I want to say 4 or 5 closings in May and in June. And in March and April, I had about 3, but I was working with multiple clients, which shoot into June and to May and June. So it was very hard, but the rates were low. We're still in a very busy market. I have 4 closings in September. I got a little slow for August, but that was because I was so busy during COVID and I had to talk that I was like, I have to take it a little bit slow. And I also wanted to just do community stuff. Like I just got back from, visiting and giving gifts that I didn't get to give during the summer, so I was like, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to stop by. And, so I was like, and then August, I knew also with school starting. So I made sure that I time blocked and I planned for that. And so, but I was very busy, and I thank God for that. But I am telling people, like, right now, rates are still low. It's really crazy because there's just not enough sellers, a lot of buyers. And so I'm like telling people, if you really want to do it and move, sell your house or buy, now is the time to do it. And I'm not saying it for sales or anything. It just really is it just, because things are only going to get expensive. The Super Bowl is in Tampa next year. We got Tom Brady. I mean, it's I'm not kidding. Tampa is blowing up.
Tampa's hot. I mean, we have our office over there, which is why I know you. And it's just, you're right. I think people, if you listen to mainstream media, the sky is falling. And if you could really get to some of the nitty gritty, like the real estate market has just not slowed down. You're right, August a little bit, but that's because people were trying to figure out, are my kids going to school or are they not? Yep. Do I have to plan for that? Do I not? And so, but you're right, the seller's market, the rates are so low. Our rates are so low. Overall in the country, our rates are low. Everybody's rates are low. And so it's so important though. Sellers, if you don't have the inventory, you can have a million buyers with low rates and you're not making the sales because people aren't selling. It's a fascinating market, but I love to hear that you have figured out how to pivot on that. I mean, you had to go from everything in person pretty much, and you've adapted. You've had to adapt. So what's it been like? A lot of people ask, in the real estate world, what's it been like to do a virtual showing or to work with clients virtually? How has that been, and how have you made the shift?
So we have a lot of people coming from up north, and I've actually had to so I'm fun when I do my virtual tours. I'll go and I'll do a little dance or just to get their attention and say, okay, I need you to watch. This is the neighborhood you're going to be living in. And, oh, look at that lake. And, so I try to make it a little fun, but I don't just show them the house. I will literally drive the entire neighborhood because I have a client that she's like, is my house the nicest one on the block? I don't want to be the nicest house on the block. That's a big no-no. And so I'm like, well, the thing with Tampa is that, and St. Pete and Clearwater, the whole Tampa Bay area, there's a lot of changes going on. So you'll see some houses that are really old, these old bungalows. Look at Seminole Heights, and they're fixing them up. So while, yes, the house is really, really nice, there are other houses that are under construction, and also new construction sales have surged because of the low inventory. So that's another thing. And so, it's just, I have had to show them the whole neighborhood so that way they can get a feel of where they're going to be living in and the environment and the vibe, right? Because everybody wants to be near the restaurants and everything. So I try to show them that, and I'm constantly doing videos about what I do with my kids. I go to the pier. I'll go to downtown Tampa when I go walking, running. And when I do have cocktails, I'll go to Gin Joiner, things like that. I'm constantly recording that, and
that's so important. Let me ask you about that. Why did you decide to do that? Was that because of COVID, or had that already been part of your social media plan?
So COVID did enhance it. So I did sometimes do it, but one thing with COVID is that it really hurt some small businesses. So, you have some big businesses like Sweet Tomatoes and things like that closed, but some of these small businesses had to shut down for almost 2 months. So when we were able to reopen slowly, or they were doing to go, I was making sure that I was out there and saying, guys, we have to support local. We have to support small businesses. We are the ones that influence our community, right? So we have to get out there, and we have to sit there as a teacher. I was always told you're held to a high regard, like a police officer, like a government official. So I feel like I'm like that as a realtor. As a realtor, yes, I don't just help buy and sell homes. I'm actually here to influence my community. We're here to make a change, and we should. And so if we are, as our income, making money by helping people find their dream home or sell their home and get into their dream, then in that case, we should also be helping the economy and just making sure that it all rotates and moves forward. And that's something I strongly believe. And so that's what I did. I started doing more videos and get to know the
Was it
community.
hard? Was it hard to do them? That's what people ask me all the time. Did you do them straight from your phone? Did you just do them from your phone? I mean, you mess up on your videos, but that's okay. It makes you human. Right. And I can't seem to convince people it doesn't have to be a perfect video.
No. And you know, that's the thing, is that people want your genuine personality.
Yeah.
People don't want like, hello, I'm here to help you buy. Like, they want to see you.
Nobody wants the Stepford wives. Nobody wants.
Like, let's be real. Like, I'm a mom. I go crazy, and I'm Hispanic, so I will throw the chancleta sometimes at my children or at my husband or at my friends. But let's be real though. And you know, like, they want to see that. Like, there's no filters, and I've said it. Yes, there shouldn't be any filters. We have to be ourselves, because people don't want to see, like, I get reality TV is very popular right now, but let's be real. I'm not a star in reality TV. So I want people to see me for who I am, because I feel like more so they're going to want to work with me and they're going to want me to be in their lives. And I'm not very transactional. I tell people that I'm very relational. So I'm going to want to know, okay, well, why are you switching from a 2-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom house? And why did you not have a backyard and now you want a backyard? People want pools now. People want to be, why? Well, COVID, you know, we realized we really need a pool. We needed something to do. So, you know, things like that. So it's just, we really have got to be the change. And that's just something that I learned. I could sit here and pout and just talk about all the negatives that this year has brought us. But I really think that we have an opportunity to take the negative and turn it into a positive. We really
do. Agree with you. I think it's just a choice every day, right? You can get up and be cranky and angry, upset about what's going on. Woe is me. Yeah. I've done it. So I can tell you I've done it. I think we all have. Or you can choose to go, all right, start with grateful. What am I grateful for? What is it that I'm appreciative of? Even if it's that I woke up that morning, you got to start somewhere. So you make a choice every day. I mean, there are days where I'm like, boy, I am not making the right choices. I'm cranky, I'm angry, I'm upset. Yep. And we all get like that because the stresses get to us. But then I have to figure out how to, that's why I go into self-care. When I get to that point, I need to do something. Rest, sleep, go to a party, go to the beach, do something that is all about me and not work. All right. So I ask everybody before we wrap it up, all the guests, something personal. So who's your biggest, if I say the word influence or hero, who comes to mind in your life that made an impact?
Well, that's a good question. So one of my favorite sayings is it takes a village to raise a child. So I come from a rough background. I was in foster care, and my father adopted me when I was 14, almost 15 years old. And I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for my dad. My dad actually suggested I do real estate. He's like, as a teacher, you're not going to do well financially. You're not being appreciated. And I'm one of those people, I'm very passionate about what I do and everything, whether or not I get recognition. And so he just saw me pouring and not getting that recognition. So he recommended that, and he supported me. He was there for me, along with I have a very good friends. And I had a best friend at the time who also supported me. My best friend now, who's also going into real estate, and I'm mentoring her. And I have families that when I was in foster care, you know, the Bradley family, that just, everyone believed in me. Like, everyone's always calling and checking up on me. I mean, friends from church, family and friends that although we don't talk, like when we check up on each other, it's okay. It's like as if we you know, the relationship never ended. So I really have a lot of influences from people that I've grown up and just inspired me. And honestly, had they not pushed me because I mean, when I tell you my background is really rough and I would not be where I am today had they not saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I would not be here. So those are the people that really in my life.
Thank you for sharing that. I got goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So how do we reach you? If somebody wants to buy, sell, Tampa, anywhere, I don't care where it is. How do they reach you? Is it the website down there, or is there a better way?
So yes, there is this is my Berkshire Hathaway website, but I know that we have a lot of social media gurus there that like the Instagram. So my Instagram is at ListingswithLuz, and my slogan is relax and let loose, like let me, but you're also letting
I love that.
So it's at listings with Luz, and then Facebook is also the same at listings with Luz, and but you can reach me. I have a cell phone. I give it out 813-846-6379. I tell people you can. I'm really not pushy. Like people just call me just to ask questions, and then that's it. Whether it's
you're the light, you are the light. I love that. What a joy. You know, I never know what's going to happen when somebody comes on the show that I don't know or don't know their whole story. And so thank you for taking a risk and sharing that and picking this topic. It was perfect. And you are the perfect ambassador for the light and the awesome. So thank you so much. Luz Estrella Colon.
Estrella, but yes.
Estrella.
You also talk Spanish, so that's the Spanish teacher.
Dos cervezas, por favor. I'm poquito. I'm terrible. But thank you so much. You guys reach out to Luz. She's amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was such a joy.
Thank you guys. And I also want to thank my brokerage. They've been amazing and they're on the show and supporting. So thank you so much. Bye guys.
Fantastic. Bye guys. We'll see you.